Hello, hello. Welcome to Stampin' Chat. It's Tuesday the 9th of August. Let me check that I am live in the right place. As usual, Alfie's come up to see who am I talking to. So still got a bit of a frog in the throat this week, but it's much better. After, I do have like a random tickly cough, so you will have to excuse me. But after I spoke with you last week, I woke up on Wednesday and my voice had virtually gone. And you can see I've got strappy top on again. Weather here in the UK is pretty hot, too hot really. Would be nice just to have like a nice mellow heat. It's too hot for like doing anything in it at the moment, but I think it's going to be like that for the end of the week, so until the end of the week. So we're going to make the most of it and enjoy this lovely weather and do lots of eating out as much as we can. So this morning I am teaming a new Christmas stamp set. I can feel a tickle coming. I'm just using, I'm trying to think what I'm doing, some greetings from it. Excuse me, Sela, I said there's a tickle. I'm going to be using some greetings from the Window Wishes. Sadly, when my order arrived, the dies were missing and there was something else in its place. So I'm still waiting for the dies to come with it, but I've used some of the greetings today and I'm kind of focusing on one of our Sale-a-Bration offerings, and it's the DSP from the Rings of Love, and I will show you that in the mini catalogue when I turn you down to my desk. But yeah, so, and I'm also using cup of tea stamps. If you might have just caught my post earlier to show you the two stamps that I'm using. So I've got two really simple cards today using one sketch, so both using the same pieces, the same elements, but just different cards. You know, in my world, the same but different. So let's turn you down. I think it's going to be quite, during the summer holidays, people are out and about, got things planned, but of course there's always the catch up, so it's always lovely to be able to do that. And then of course this gets uploaded to my YouTube channel so that other people can catch it as well. So let us make bit of space, move everything around, and I will just turn you down to my desk. Good morning, Jenny, just catching that before I do the switch over. How are you doing, my lovely? It's warm, isn't it? The poor veggies in the garden, they're not really sure what's happening. I had quite a few, well, the peas have gone over now, definitely. They're finished, and the runner beans have slowed down, although I've noticed there's lots of new red flowers and some new baby beans, so maybe they will have a bit of a pickup. So I've been feeding them still, so hopefully we'll have a few more green beans coming our way. So let's turn you down. Excuse the palm of the hand. Get you straight. Move. My MacBook is definitely in the way. Oh, we're a bit crooked. Let's just move you straight. A little zoom. And then when we've caught up, we'll get this taped down. Yeah, definitely still got the frog in the throat. So I was feeling fine. Been feeling fine with it. It's just been irritating. You know, when you can't talk properly and you're croaking and you definitely cannot sing. You know, it's not even worth trying. When you've got a croaky voice, and I do like to hum along when I've got music on. So Jenny, you've just picked your peas. Yeah, mine have just come to the end. I was still feeding them and watering them, and they just kind of went brown and they'd had enough. So, but we had some, you know, we had a good few meals from them. And of course, peas are always best picked and eaten straight from the pod. Even Vivi, she was doing that. Bless her. Right. Let us have a look. So today, as I said, I'm using the Window Wishes, but I'm only using some greetings from here, and I'm focusing on the cup of tea stamps, and the die set that goes with the cup of tea is lovely because you've obviously got the teacup die that cuts out these shapes, which is this solid one, but you've also got this really pretty intricate one here, and then all the elements that go with it. I'm going to be using this leaf today. You all know I love my foliage, so I'm going to be using this leaf with this die and the flowers because that's so usable for all of your other projects. And I thought I'd just give you a quick sneak of, I've done so much with this bundle. It's so pretty. This is a little tea bag holder. This is something I did for an event. Let's move that out of the way. Little tea bag holder there. And then some cards that go with it. So these are kind of focusing on this die cut teacup. So, you know, if you don't have the stamps, you can still get a lot from the other elements that are in there. Hello, Kim. How are you doing? Good evening to you. So got lovely Orchid Oasis here, teamed with Starry Sky. And again, combining that with... what's the stamp set called? It's gone from my head. One I use a lot. Oh gosh, the brain. The 50-year-old brain. It doesn't work sometimes. But again, foliage and flowers, so useful. These were really popular on my Instagram. A lot of you liked these. Lovely colour combo there. Sweet Sorbet and Flirty Flamingo. So not always using those teacups. Another teacup appearance and the little tag here. Honestly, such a usable set for masculine or feminine. Men like cups of tea. So just a little sample there of a very small amount, what I pulled off of my display area. Now, the other item I'm going to be using, because remember we have Sale-a-Bration still running for the whole of the month, and we have this fabulous new offering as well. So we've got some embossing folders and some speciality papers, got these lovely gift boxes, and then when you spend £90 you could choose, not that Alfie hair, you could choose one of these lovely dies. So some really great products. Let's just scroll. And I'm going to be using the timber today just because it's such a good all-round. I think I used it last time. It's just such a lovely finish to that one. Kind of masculine but feminine as well. So a really good all-rounder. And of course that one is available as a free gift when you spend £45. So really good value. Now the other free gift that I'm focusing on today is this. The Rings of Love. Now I was going to find this. Oh, I've just pulled my marker out of my book, which isn't very handy. Not very handy at all. Let me just look up where the Rings of Love is. Ringed with Nature, page 62. I did share this with you last week. So this paper kind of coordinates with this lovely bundle here, and I am going to have to get this bundle. You've got the die set here, which is a hybrid set. So it's got, I don't know if you can see that, it's got an embossing folder and it's got the dies that go with it. And you can see a little sneak there of the dies. There are also these kind of like leafy element dies as well, but look how the embossing folder embosses those lovely tree rings. Absolutely beautiful. Really great set. But the papers in here are obviously designed to go with that. Where have I put them? They're right on my chair. Yeah, and I'm feeling like that'd be very fitting here with all the trees that have come down and the amount of logs that have been cut and chopped and stacked. This set would be perfect. And what's really good about it too is that you've got that lovely house in there, that lovely house image, which is this one here, which is great for your, you know, your new home card. So if you are joining, please do say hello. Kim, you love the cards I just showed. Is that the timber embossing folder? Yes. Yes, the timber one, which is one of the free gifts during Sale-a-Bration at the moment. Good morning, Lisa. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. So I thought I would do, everybody has jumped on the bandwagon with this paper of the fussy cutting. And I think I did share this with you last week, but we'll just have a quick flick. This is a free offering with a £45 spend. So I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and my brain definitely does not engage that. I've just noticed that my light is not on, so we'll have a bit more light on the subject. Good morning, Belle. How are you doing? You're off to the chiropractor. Oh, bless you. Hope all goes well. Hope all goes well. So really gorgeous papers in here. Nice autumnal one then. There even. And then some foliage. Got the birds in the branches with that lovely, what is that technique called? Don't know. It escapes me, like a lot of things I try to say. This is the paper I'm going to be using today, so we're going to do a bit of fussy cutting with that one. Oh, cannot turn the pages. I adore this one too. Really fun, really great for fussy cutting. You've got the tree rings here, which I believe cut out with the dies. And then you've got like this poinsettia one, which doesn't have to scream Christmas, but it kind of does to me, the reds and the greens in there. And then you've got these lovely tree trunks, like the wooded sheets. So a really fabulous set of papers that I know you're going to get a lot of use from. So remember, that one is free with a £45 spend. Let's bring in, so I think I've mounted from here what I need. Oh, also the bundle, the cup of tea, because it is such a great set. £43 for dies and stamps. That's really great value, but you've got some really sweet greetings in there as well. It's just such a good set, like I said, that I've used lots and lots. So let's have a look at colour combo. Bit hard to tell because the petal pink has faded, but we've got petal pink, mint macaron, soft suede, crumb cake, and night of navy. So those are our colours. Let's lay those out ready. And let's bring in the first kit. Bits and pieces. Need to grab some paper, my sheet of paper as well. So we've got a bit of stamping and a bit of fussy cutting to do. So how are we all doing? How was your weekend? We had a lovely weekend. Just really nice, really lovely weekend. Spent quite a bit of time at home, Jay and I, doing things out in the garden, and although it was too warm to kind of do a lot, just felt like we sort of achieved a lot. We got to spend time with family as well. So yeah, and then we were out last night for a meal at a lovely local Italian restaurant. So we didn't get back till, well, not too late, sort of 10ish. So yeah, feeling a bit, not overtired, but kind of a busy few days. And of course this weather is quite draining as well, isn't it? Okay, so I've got basic white base layer here, and I'm teaming these three lovely colours. So we've got night of navy, petal pink, and mint macaron. So those are our three colours, and then I'm teaming it with some of our craft paper. Let me grab that for you. It comes in 6x6, and this carried over from the last autumn catalogue, the last mini catalogue. So it comes in 6x6 sheets, which is super handy, good size. What else do I need to pull in? Let's do a bit of stamping first, I think, before we do anything. We'll put these are my spare pieces. Got a bit of die cutting to do. I've just realised I didn't think I was going to be using this today, and I was chuckling to myself about it and thinking, I use this so much and I'm not going to be using it today, but I've just realised I'm going to be using this die. So another fabulous one that I just go to all of the time. Kim, you had your youngest granddaughter's first birthday and naming day on Sunday. Oh, how exciting, and how lovely to have a gathering. It's just so nice to get together, and the weather makes all the difference, doesn't it? Makes a massive difference. And of course here in the UK our weather is kind of so up and down, it's kind of a job to sort of plan anything, because you're kind of like banking on the weather if you want to do something outside. But it looks like it's going to be pretty good for most of the week. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to eating outside this evening. We also put up I can't even remember what night that was, maybe Friday night. We bought some new festoon lights for the new pergola and put that up, and it looks so pretty, so pretty. I have to try and get a decent shot. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll pop it on my Instagram stories. Sadly, I don't do a lot on my personal page on Facebook. I don't know, I shouldn't say that because they might kick me out. But I use Facebook for my business, but not so much for my personal. And I am quite personal. I'm quite a private person, so I don't share loads and loads. But I do love Instagram stories where you can just like share little sneak peeks of what you're up to. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of stamping. Now, the cup of tea stamps are photopolymer. So we're going to pull in our mat and a spare piece of grid paper. And we're going to, didn't stick that on. We're going to start off with this lovely foliage. I do love this one. It kind of could pass for a bit of a tree as well, which mine kind of is in the background. It's like, it's going to be like acting as a huge bush in the background. So we want one of these in mint macaron. So what did the rest of you get up to? Just scrolling. Hope you're okay, Belle. So a bit of, I'm just finding a scrap. Following on from my knee issues last week. So that'll be 2 weeks today that I put my knee out. And I have to say, thank goodness, it is improving. I'm going to do a couple of these because I think I want one for the next card. That wasn't the best print. Yeah, it's still really painful. I'm still having to be a bit careful with it. But getting up and down the stairs is much easier. It's still very achy. Okay, so we've got that lovely leaf. Ignore that one, it's slightly missed over there, but beautiful leafy image. And then you all know how much I love this little flower. It appears everywhere. And don't just, like I've said with this set, don't just think about the teacups. Think about all the other elements that you could use, like this little sort of tea bag that could just be a tag, you know, hanging with this tag on anything that you're doing. So when you've got a stamp set, look at it and think how it can be used on all of your projects, not just when you're stamping and adding a cup of tea to your card. Cup of tea image. Good morning, Lucianne. How are you doing? Hope you're all okay. Right, let's chop one of these off. And then we'll do some flowers. Now I need my Night of Navy. I've still got an old style Night of Navy ink pad, which is totally fine. Scoop these ink pads along. And then Petal Pink. So because I want to use, I'm going to use this little stamp here. And can you see my little dot there? That's to indicate that that's going to be the top of my stamp, so that when I line it up with my die, I know which way to do it, because I've also marked my die in the same way. Oh, that doesn't look very clean. Not at all, does it? Let's do another couple. That's better. I probably had cleaned that the last time I used it in a dirty chamois. Right, so I don't need all of those, but I'm just stamping them anyway. Now I'm going to give that a clean. Maybe my chamois needs a good rinse out. I've just dropped a bit of water on it this morning just to moisten it. Just popped my wet wipe over that. And then I want a couple in Night of Navy. Oop, that moved. Like that. I love how clean and crisp this, well, the majority of our images stamp out. They're just so fabulous. Is that all I need? I think, oh no, of course not. I need a little tag. So I was talking about the tags just now. We've got this lovely tag here, and then we've also got this little like solid tag with the leaf kind of cut out of it. But in the die set, they have given us a little tag die, and then also 2 of that smaller tag as well, which is really handy. And then we have the 2 flowers, which you can see I've popped a little dot. And the way that works is what I do before I move to my cutting machine. I put a little arrow to indicate that that is the top, the dot was at the top, so that when I line my die in with the dot at the top as well, I'm not placing my die down, turning it, trying to figure out where it fits. I simply can just do it straight away without having to think too much about it. So the other thing I need is a little tag, and I'm going to do that one in soft suede, because I think both soft suede and crumb cake work lovely with the craft cardstock. Now I call it cardstock, Stampin' Up call it paper, but it's quite a good heavyweight on it. So Lisa, you had a lovely crafty session with your upline. How wonderful. So nice to Crafting Company, isn't it? And you had a really large conifer to cut down and having to now sort the garden. Yeah, so that was us 2 weeks ago. We had a tree that was growing very dangerously towards the house, and it was getting really low. It was blocking light coming in. So we decided we were going to take this tree out, which we did do. And we took the tree next to it because there was not much left of it really. It was a bit pointless. Oh, the mess. The sawdust is still down. Jason's been round a couple of times with the sit-on mower with the little brushes on the back, and it's just not picking it up. And of course, because we've had no rain, the grass is like brown. It's looking pretty sad out there, but a good couple of days and we had chopped all of the logs. They're all stacked, all of them now. I think we've got another pile in another area of the garden, that just a few that need stacking. But yeah, so they're ready. They're seasoning themselves, ready for not this winter, but next winter. They won't be ready this year. So yes, I feel your pain. It's a lot of manual work, and that probably didn't help with my knee. That probably contributed to me twisting my knee. So I'm going to stamp this little tag and do it gently because I don't want any ink from the middle coming down. Can you see how there is ink on the middle there? So because it's such a lined image, you need to press gently. And then I've also mounted, don't know if you can read this, but this tiny little greeting sentiment says, "I just can't thank you enough." And I'm going to do that in Night of Navy and then pop it down just in the centre of my tag. I do love photopolymer where you can see through. Okay, let's move you out of the way. Lucianne, you're good. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, Lucianne. The frog in the throat is still there, but I've been feeling fine with it. It's not really been bothering me. I'm going to put another arrow up there so that when I cut these off, I know which way. Probably will only want one of these for now, and I'll save those for later. Yeah, definitely feeling like there's still a frog there, just hanging in, but my knee's improving, which is good. So yeah, it's just all age related really, isn't it? Everything else. Okay, let's do a bit of die cutting and then we can start on our fussy cutting. Let's bring in some plates. So love that we have 2 of these flowers. So I'll do one of each colour. I need my little tag and I need my foliage. Grab a bit of tape because you know what will happen, they will move by the time we get there. So how are you doing, Lucianne? Are you okay? Let's not do that one. It's a slightly dodgy stamp that I did. Yeah, so busy old weekend. We did get to sit down a bit on our coffee breaks. We sat down under the pergola, depending on where the sun is in the garden, because under the pergola, which is just out here by the side of my studio, the sun is there all day long until it kind of goes down. But at the back of the house, where the other patio is, I'll just run these through. The sun only gets there, you know, just after, well, lunchtime, so we tend to move around the garden and sit wherever there's sun or shade, whatever we need. Jason doesn't like the sun. It does not make him happy in the slightest. You know I like the sun, but I don't sit in it like I used to anymore. It's not really safe to, is it? But we all need, of course, that little bit of vitamin D. I'm going to put those two back. And I will cut another one of each of these colours, and then we've got them for the next card. So yeah, so it was busy. It was lovely. We went out, I think that was Saturday. I do lose track of my days. Saturday we went down to the Hub, which is our local like deli and cafe, and it's a shop as well and a post office. We're quite lucky. It's kind of we're not within a village here, we're like on the outskirts, but it's in our next village. So that's where I do my coffee and card. So we went down and had coffee and a treat. I think that was Saturday afternoon. That was Saturday afternoon. And I had, Amy makes the most amazing Rocky Road, but she makes like a white chocolate Rocky Road with like, they call it a lemon thingy because they're not sure what to call it. It's like if you imagine a white chocolate Rocky Road with a very lemony flavouring. It's delicious, and it's you get quite a big piece. And when I ordered, I said, I'll have a bag and I'll take half of it away with me because I'm never going to manage a large coffee and all of that dessert. So I cut the Rocky Road in half, and I ate the first half, and I was like, I'll just have a little bit more. It was so good. And then I got to the point of, it's not worth taking that home. I may as well just eat it. So I ended up eating a lot of it, feeling slightly unwell after it because it was a lot of sugar. And milk always, you know, a hot milky drink quite often makes me feel a bit kind of full up. But yeah, delicious. So that was what we did Saturday afternoon after we'd been like working here. So, right, I also need to die cut this little label. So let's cut off only what we need. What I might do is place this one so that we can make use of the negative as well. I can trim that raw edge I've just cut. I can trim that off after. So I'm just going to run that through really quickly. Excuse me. Quick cough while I'm not close to the microphone. Oh, new piece of tape. Just going to tear it slightly. A bit too sticky. So you can see then we're left with, that was a little bit crooked, but could straighten that up with my trimmer. You're left with a piece that could be used for something else, a little frame. So always think about your negatives, your leftovers. You know how often we talk about the leftover pieces. Right, let's move pieces back. Who else is joining us? I'm just checking to make sure I've not missed any comments. There's a few of you on this morning, so thank you if you've stopped by to say hello. The other thing I think I'll do quickly is just emboss. So I'm using the timber. If you've not joined from the beginning, of course you can go back after and watch the full replay, but this is one of our free Sale-a-Bration gifts during August. So I'm just going to run that through, swap my plates over quickly. And just emboss this layer. I do love our embossing folders. How beautiful. Hello Joe, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by this morning. So we're doing using some Sale-a-Bration free gifts this morning with our cards. Pop that embossing folder back out of the way, otherwise I end up with mountains of stuff around me and then there's no room to craft. Right, what do I need next? Let's do a bit of fussy cutting. So I'm going to push these just to one side and bring back in this sheet. Move these inks out of the way. So this is probably my most favourite sheet in the set of papers. And the sad thing is the reverse is fabulous for fussy cutting as well. Just think that would look great on a background on a card, or just cut out like the centre part of it. Any part of it. It's like it reminds me of a mandala. So you could do so much with that. But sadly, I love this side as well. And it's just so good that we have two sheets. So you've got one of each. I've got some little bits and pieces left here. And I intend to carry on crafting with this once I've got so much more that I want to do with these different houses. These are the cards I'm doing today are the only two that I've cut from this paper. So any of these houses will work with what I'm doing. But I think, and I'm going to be careful how I cut, because I'm going to choose this house here. But I'm going to be careful. I don't want to cut into these trees. So I'm going to snip just into it and then try and leave behind any pieces that might be good for another project. So I'm just thinking, what do I want those on there? Let's have the trees. I may not keep them. So I've just roughly cut around here. I don't know if this one's slightly different to my original. So I'm going to keep the trees on. I don't think there were trees on my original one. So I'm just going to cut around, leaving a little gap all the way around. Quick look. Joe, you're good. But it's cold here it's cold there rather. In Western Australia, bless you. Yeah, we are having another really hot spell here in the UK, and we've not had enough rain for a very long time, you know, so all is good, but in moderation, I say. There are areas that have had to have like hose pipe bans and things because there just isn't enough water, so just fussy cut that one out. I think that's all we need to do. We can start popping together now. So quite a quick card. Obviously I've done loads of waffling in between, but when you start bringing this together, it does come together quite quickly. Of course, if you don't have the papers and you only have, let's find the stamps again. Maybe you do have the Ringed with Nature stamp set. You can stamp your own house on here, or maybe it is that you've got the other set that I'm using, the Window Wishes, and you could stamp this house here, which isn't quite as pretty, but would still make a good like moving card or just general card, retirement card. Right, let's give you some measurements of layers. I've got a piece of Night of Navy, which is roughly 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. So it's that magic number again. So 2 3/4 is a third of a width of our cardstock, and 4 1/8 is also half of a width of cardstock. Let me show you so I can explain. So our cardstock measures 8 1/4, so 4 1/8 is right down the middle. And then if you did 2 3/4 this way, you would get 4 from that piece like that. Now, if you popped it this way and cut, you'll get 3 this way. And if you changed that measurement from 4 1/8 to 3 7/8, you would get 3 that way. So you would get 9 from one sheet. So always think about maybe just taking, if you're making multiples of things, but just by taking off a slither, an 1/8, you could make your cardstock stretch a lot further. So we've got that layer there. We've got our piece of Petal Pink, which will be maybe a slightly funny size because we've ran it through the embossing folder. Quite often it kind of shrinks and stretches what we're doing. So that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I've pulled out a piece, I think this was from my scraps, and the width is probably a no measurement. Oh, it does measure 2 by 3 1/2. So we're going to start by layering these two together first. So let's get the Tombow rolling. I haven't been in here all weekend. I did work a bit on Friday. Well, I worked a lot on Friday actually, but I've not been in here all weekend. We've been out in the garden and out and about and doing family things. Now, which side do I want? That is the question, because they're both equally beautiful. So we've got like the embossed side, and then this is kind of like the debossed side. I think I'm going to put glue on the debossed side. And I'm going to pull in a scrap because I shouldn't have put so much ink on that, so much glue on that one side, because this is going to overhang and it might go on my grid paper. So I'm just offsetting these two. You can see I've got a bit there. Wasn't thinking when I glued that, so I glued right down the edge and I didn't really need it. And then we're going to pop that down onto our base in the middle, but over to the right hand side. So centrally, top to bottom, over towards the right hand side of the card. Lucy-Anne, your dad is still in hospital. Oh honey, I'm sorry to hear that. I suspect your mum is busy going backwards and forwards, bless her. Sending hugs your way. So what I'm going to do next is take my little craft tag and layer it down onto my mint macaron piece. This time up in the top sort of left side, like that. And then I'm going to take some linen thread. I'm sadly getting to the end of this, but I've got another roll somewhere here in my basket. So it comes in a little pack like this. You get a lot on here. You get 15 yards. Absolutely adore this. It's such a natural product that just works with so many things. Now the question is, where is the end? It's usually pretty easy to locate. I don't think that will be enough. Might be. Might just be. Let's see if we can use that. So rather than wrapping it around, it won't be long enough. Let's split it into two, and then if it doesn't work, we can use it to make a bow or something. They're long enough. Right, I'm going to pop a little glue dot. Where are we? Oops, more fingers and thumbs today. I want to wrap it around about here. So I'm going to pop a glue dot at about that height. Just on the back. That one's a bit high. It might end up missing that. Let's see if we can roll it down a bit. No, it's on there. Let's put another one on. Oh, we're at the end. Let's see if we can use that one. I think it's too stuck to the... I think it's where it's warm in here. I'm going to make this work. There we go. Just pop that there. I am going to need some more glue dots though. And then we're just going to attach one there. I probably was better off where I was. Yeah, look. That is not the look we want. Let's get rid of that glue dot. I'm just going to go and grab a new box. Trying to make do. Let's just get a fresh packet. Okay. Oh, I was having a good shake. He's been having a snooze under the table. Right, let's start again. So we'll have one coming around here. So they're just kind of catching on the glue dot, and then we'll put another one underneath. Where's it gone? Pop one there. You could, of course, wrap this round. This just uses less. Because I had that little bit left, I wouldn't have had enough to wrap it round and wrap it round again. So this is kind of a slightly more frugal way of using it. I'm going to leave it like that for a moment, and I'm going to pop it straight down onto this layer, but I'm going to raise it with some dimensionals. Now they will stick pretty well, and because they've added a bit of depth because they're on top of the glue dot and you've got the thickness of the linen thread, I'm going to pop this whole layer onto dimensionals. Otherwise it's not going to sit very flat. And we're going to have this just up from the bottom of this layer and hanging over the edge of the Night of Navy piece. And there is a bit of white space left on this card, and I did consider using this snow image as a splat, so that would be a good alternative. But when I looked at the white space, I wasn't quite sure it was going to work. Right, next we're going to pop our little house down in here, but because we've got a layer of dimensionals behind here, and this is going to overhang the layer, I'm going to pop just a couple of dimensionals on the roof so that it doesn't like sag about and bend over the edge. So we're going to slide that just under there so that the twine is kind of on the, like the grounding line, so to speak. So this is kind of like, it's not the road, it's definitely not the road, it looks nothing like the road, but it's kind of like grounding towards the bottom of the house. And then we can add in our little flower elements. So this is where I was saying that this is kind of acting like a bit of a tree or a very huge bush coming out of my house, growing behind it. Let's just curl these. How many do I need? I don't need you. Can't seem to pick anything up today. And we'll pop another dimensional behind here, but also a little bit of glue, bit of Tombow just to anchor the bottom so it doesn't, you know, once you've anchored the top, it will move around a bit if you don't anchor the bottom of it as well. And we're just going to slide that alongside our little house. And then we'll just pop in some flowers. So we'll have a petal pink one down here. Right, that empty glue dot roll can go in the recycling. And then we'll add a couple here, like this. So got some flowers on the side of the house, and then the little tag, just giving it a bit of a curl, we'll pop. Now I think I've put another dimensional on, and I'm going to, I know I am now at 2 layers of dimensionals, but look how 3D my flowers are, so I'm not too worried about that. It's going to cost more money to post it, but I'm sure the person who's receiving it will be worth it. I'm just going to hang that little tag over there and then tie a little bow. Let's just straighten this out where it's been on the spool, and we only want a small bow. So, oops, the other bit isn't pulling. Doesn't help that my spool is trying to run away from me. Just pull that tight and then pinch in the middle and then pull the opposite tail to make the loops smaller. And then we'll just trim off. You're a bit curvy the wrong way. Let's just straighten you out a bit. Trim off the ends. And I've got a teeny tiny bow. Let's just snip off that thread. And if you hold on to the loops and kind of just give the tails a tug, it kind of just makes them sort of sit where you want them. Roll up a glue dot. I want it to be quite small. So can you see I've just like rolled it. Pop it on the top of the tag. And then we'll add our bow, and then it kind of looks like it's attached to the string that's running across. Okay. You're all gone quiet. And then to finish, I thought I'd use pearls. I thought I had some of the champagne rhinestones. I remember ordering them, but I think they were a gift, and I think I gifted them. And I had in my head that I had some, and then when I checked, I definitely didn't. So I'm just going to use the smaller ones. Obviously, because I've used all the larger ones. Need to add this to my order as well, some more pearls, because I use them a lot. And as you hear me say, you can colour them with your Stampin' Blends. And I've left it at that. So this is where I was thinking at this point, I could use this snow as a splat and kind of just dot some up here, maybe some here. And then I felt it might feel a bit unbalanced. Maybe originally before I embossed here, if I'd have done some on this layer as well, it would have just felt like, I feel when you're doing things like that, you need kind of a triangle, so one here, and one here. But I didn't think it would stand out so well on there. So I think this would, although I've used the greeting, I just can't thank you enough. I think this would make a really good like house moving card, just a general female card, because it's like very kind of country, cottagey, could be good for retirement. So I think it would suit different occasions. And you could easily make this more masculine by maybe switching out this layer for crumb cake and then just adding in, rather than putting flowers on, if you don't want to put flowers on man cards, then take the flowers off and then just add in some different foliage. Like in the cup of tea, you could cut some of this up and wedge it down here. Do you remember I did a card where I made this look like lavender? So yeah, there's different ways of looking at things. But obviously switching out this would turn, these colours are still quite masculine, quite bold. So yeah, quite pretty. Lisa, you like it, thank you. Kim, you like it as it is. Thank you so much. Just having a drink. And of course the colours came to me from the papers. So I did try it with Starry Sky. What are the actual colours in the pack? What have I even done with the pack? It's here. Is it Night of Navy? It is Night of Navy. So the colours in here are Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Mint Macaron, Night of Navy, Parakeet Party, that scares me, it's very bright, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade and Soft Suede. So, but I think equally, I was looking at this sheet, I pulled this sheet out because I'm itching to do something with this, and I pulled out these colours. So I pulled out Sweet Sorbet because I think that would look lovely with that. And So Saffron, even though it says Crushed Curry. And then you've got, you know, like your Evening Evergreen. So watch this space because I'm going to be doing some fussy cutting with that. And I did actually pull out this little bundle, the handmade tag, and this set, and try to do something kind of non-Christmassy using these colours and these papers. So yeah, watch this space. Right, next card as my original. It's pretty much the same, except I had a little oopsie moment. So what I will do with that, because I don't think there's any way of hiding that, I will trim around this front layer, only probably take 1/8 off, and then I will remount this layer onto a card base. So that's a hazard, isn't it? You close up the inks, then you pick up your card, and then you realise you've had a little oopsie moment. But hope you like those. I'm enjoying this colour combo. Right, where is the next kit? So again, going to be the same but different. Same colours. And in fact, I've used, let's put that away, the same size pieces as well. Exactly the same elements as before. I do need to cut myself another frame. So let us, it's going to be a quick live today. Saying that though, I've been waffling for an hour already. Surely not. Gosh, I have. I'm turning my head around, like looking at the clock. I'm thinking, surely it can't be that time. We started at 9:30. Such a waffler. Okay, so base layer. I need to emboss. I need to die cut another one of these. And I won't throw that away. Can you see where it's just missed slightly there and there? Because a flower will probably cover that over. So I need to die cut that. Emboss that. Let's emboss this one first. As we still have the layers ready on the embossing, cutting emboss machine. So I'm just use that line here to line up my images or my cardstock. Run that through. Put the other layers back in ready. So we've got that one done. Then I will die cut these. We need a couple more flowers. Got a couple of Night of Navy ones here ready we'll use. But we'll cut these out. The throat is giving up on me now. dies. Do you know, I have yet to use the lemon slice. I've seen some lovely cards done with it. I need to use it. I need to make some lemon tea cards, don't I? So, and the hearts, they're just really good for filling in white space as well. So we'll have those. And then from the Sale-a-Brations tags, we're going to use this one again. Just give that a little encouragement to flatten it out a bit. Let's get these taped down so that they don't move. Line up. I'm just going to cut one of these because I have got a spare, and I'm not going to be able to cut them both together at the same time because the dies will touch. If I show you where I've stamped them close together, and I don't want the dies to overlap in my cutting machine, otherwise it will cut into them. You know, when they accidentally move and one die sits on top of another, it does cut into it. Let's see if we can get this a little straighter. Where's the tape? And we'll run those through. Turn it that way. Just run those through quickly. Oh, that was stiff. Forgotten to turn that die around. And when the roller gets to here, it's trying to go over this long edge. So always recommend when you've got a long edge die, place it that way in your cutter. It will roll over much easier. More tractors going up and down the lane. So we've got a lovely frame, another frame that we can use for something else. Maybe I can use that on the other cards I create with that other sheet of paper, the one with the mushrooms on. Yeah, the farmers are very busy at the moment, aren't they? Harvesting and trying to get everything done while the weather is good. Although they may be a bit busy because the weather is so dry, they're having to harvest things early. Okay, I think we're done with cutting. Right, let's start building up. Just scrolling. Scrolling. Right, we're going to layer these exactly the same. Remembering not to put glue on that one edge because it's going to overhang. And I want a larger gap here to what I have at the top and bottom. Hear the clock ticking over here. It's quite noisy and it does take me back to my childhood. It's funny, isn't it? That doesn't look very straight. See if we can encourage it that way a bit. Okay, so this way, this time, we're going to have our card this way up, like a tent fold. Which isn't my most favourite way for a card to stand, because quite often if it's on a shiny surface or a laminated surface, it will gradually kind of slide open and do that. But I wanted to use the same elements and just make a different looking card. So we're going to do exactly the same again. Pop this layer down. Oh, finger right in the tombow. Again, kind of in the middle, but more to this bottom side. It does look a bit crooked. I just have to get this tombow off. Otherwise I'll be sticking to everything. And then the mint macaron layer, which is exactly the same size as the previous. is going to go this way. So we'll pop that one down as well. It's going to be overhanging, which is why I've put the glue like quite inside that layer, because it's not going to really touch the white base very much. We'll just have that one. Let's try and get this one straight at least on there. And then we're going to do the same with the twine that we did. Oh, I haven't cut my house. I need to choose a house. Do the same with the twine. Because it's a small piece, I'm going to wrap it around because we're not going to be wasting too much. Let's pull off a couple of these. Easier than holding the roll. Oh, they're very warm. Don't want to come off. I'm going to pop them just on the back. Like that. And we'll just wrap that around the bottom so that it touches the glue dot. Trim that off. Okay, so they're nicely secured by that glue dot either side. And then we'll locate a house. Let's choose a house. I could choose anyone, as I said before. I don't want this one because it's, as cute as it is, there's too much mint macaron going on my card. So shall I go with that one? I'll go with the one I originally used, just because it's right here next to this. Now, how much of it do I want? How much do I want to leave behind? I'll be careful because I've got all these inks underneath me. I don't want to drop this in. I think we'll go around these bushes like that. So look at all the houses we've got left. And when you get the end pieces like this, don't think they aren't any good to use because they're only half a house. Layer them behind each other. Hide them with a tree or flowers, or don't throw them away. Make use of them. So let's just roughly trim around this tree and house. Don't want to chop the chimney off. But such a great free gift. There are loads of elements on these papers that you can sort of trim around. Do I want the bushes? Let's keep the bushes. Let's go in there like that. Get rid of all the pieces. I've got this really lovely, like watercoloured, they're almost watercoloured, aren't they, house. And we're going to pop this one, let's stick this on first actually. And get into the end of my sheet. Oop, thought that was one there then, and it wasn't. Add one in the middle to stop it sagging. It seems so quiet and peaceful here. Maybe because I had a busy weekend and had lots going on, and then when there's nobody here except me, Sophie was here working all day yesterday, bless her. She is a busy bee. She's doing really well with her business. So, and I was here for a bit in the morning, and then I went out to see the grandchildren and didn't get in till about 5. and then had to dash back out, so we were going out for dinner. So yeah, it's been a bit busy, I'm going to pop a dimensional right at the top of this house here, just to anchor it down. We'll have a bit of glue at the bottom. I'm just going to pop it under that twine just there, I think, like that, like we did before. So it's just kind of grounding that layer. We've got some foliage to pop in. Did I use the last one? No, we're going to be using all the edges now on that layer. Bit of Tombow. And we'll just wedge that one under again, like that. It's really sweet, these houses. And then we'll take some of the flowers. Let's put the lid back on here. Give them a little crush in the centre to lift the petals. Oop, stuck to me. And we'll pop, got a dry end. Got a dry end on my Tombow, let's get rid of it. We'll have one here, one down here. Oop, that fell just into place. And then we'll pop a couple the other side just to balance it out. One here. And one here. Just let that dry. Try not to hide that tree trunk too much. That was a bit of rough footy cutting around there, wasn't it? Never mind, it'll be fine. Then I thought I would use, because this had landed, the dies hadn't arrived, so I couldn't create with it what I wanted to create. But I thought, let's use some of the words from in here. So I've used Merry Wishes. I used For Lots of Joy at Christmas. Obviously, I'm not putting all of these on here. Let's mount that on a long one. I like a greeting to be on a long block. And then I'm so excited to ink these up. So excited. I took a word from here. So, may happy moments and wonderful memories be yours this season. So lovely. Right, now we need some little scraps. This one will do. It's not very little, but it will do. Bit of rough paper behind. Let's just move you out of the way. And then with the Night of Navy, we'll start with the word wishes. And from For Lots of Joy at Christmas, we're going to use the word lots of. Oh, I should have my mat under here, shouldn't I? But to be fair, they are stamping okay, so I won't pull it in because we've only got one more to do. And then from this long greeting sentiment, I just want the word happy. I feel like I'm wasting lots of cardstock here, even though it's a scrap. And let's just snip that out. And chop these up. So always look at your greetings. Think outside the box a little. Think about what you could do with them, how you could use them. Maybe they're not working for the reason that you intended them for. Just having a closer look. Then we'll have happy. Yeah, see if you can, like me, mix and match the words that are in your set in the greetings to make something that kind of works. That was a bit crooked. Let's try and straighten it up. Bottom was a bit crooked. It's very hard cutting it straight. If you've got a mini trimmer, that will be okay. It's easy just to kind of snip them up that way. And then we want lots of got all the windows open today. There is no air coming in though. Haven't checked what temperature we're on. That's very crooked. Might have to go with it though. If I start snipping at that, it's could make it worse. We'll leave it at that. Let's have a quick look at the temp, because I normally look when I come over. Not too bad, 24.4. It's warm in here, but it's not stifling. And as I said, there's no air. There's just not much air. I can't see a lot of movement on trees out there either. Okay, so we're going to start off with the word wishes. Bit of Tombow on the back. Uh-oh. Not on the back of the card, on the back of the greeting. And we'll just pop that one. Got a bit of glue dot on there. Is that off of my scissors, wasn't it? And it's all over my fingers now, but that's fine. This is where tweezers can become useful. Just get that Tombow off. Hello Margaret, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Sorry I didn't see you coming in there. How are you? What are you up to today on this lovely fine day? Then we'll have lots of, which I'm going to raise on a dimensional, but I'm going to carry on using these strips. There goes another tractor. I'm not sure what they're doing down the lane because it's a no-through road. And we have orchards down there, the apple orchards. So I'm not sure what they're doing at the moment. I'm sure they're not ready for harvesting. So we're going to put lots of up there. And then we're going to feed in happy here. Lots of happy wishes. Let's just scrape that excess bit that came out of the edge. We'll add in some bling, although it's not too blingy. It's nice, like subtle pearls to our flowers. This would also look lovely with the rhinestones. Just adds a bit of sparkle, but I quite like how subtle these are. They're pretty, but kind of not blingy. And then to finish, we'll just add a bow in the linen thread. I want one that wants to be a fair size. She says, making it really small. Let's pull that tight. Oops. And then Where are those new glue dots? There they are. Just take one of these, roll it up, and we'll pop it over here. To finish. And there we go. So another quite simple, quite easy bit of fussy cutting, which I know isn't for all of you. Here's my original. This one I didn't dunk in the ink. Let's have a tidy up. You know, I like to have a bit of a tidy up while I'm chatting. Yeah, just, you know, bit of fussy cutting, using that paper as inspiration. That's where my colour combo came from. So, yeah, apart from the smudge. But equally, if you don't like all this white space, mount that onto another colour. You know me, I just love using white as my base. But these would totally transform by changing that white background, even to maybe crumb cake. Let's grab a sheet or something more neutral. Oh, that's not a whole sheet. Something more neutral. You know, think about layering to add a bit more colour if they're a bit white for you. But you know me, I do love my white space, like things looking fresh and clean. So as I've said, I definitely will be playing with this and doing a bit of fussy cutting. I've got a lot of work to get done over the next couple of days, lots of planning, things that I need to plan ahead for events that are coming up. So I'm going to be a busy bee. So remember this paper, it's free when you spend £45. It's on page 7. Coordinates with the Ringed with Nature bundle. Okay. Obviously lots of other free choices in here as well. But don't forget as well the embossing folder. You've got the extra gifts that are available. Love these boxes. Showed you a project with those last week. So yeah, lots of options for you. Lots of options. So I hope you've enjoyed my creations today. You are always welcome to use my designs, case my designs. You know, I'm here to share with you. If you want to have a go at using my measurements and creating a card for you to send to someone, you are more than welcome. You don't have to ask my permission. Just case away. That's what we're here for. We all love sharing what we do and inspiring others. So thank you so much for joining me. I don't think I've got anything else that I desperately need to talk to you about today. I've got my 6-card class in the post that is still available online. That's with the Bottled Happiness, the masculine card. So you'll be seeing photos of those coming shortly. So that is still available if you want to order that online. I'm pretty sure it's still up there. I will check after. But yeah, so lots of lovely free gifts still available. We've still got right until the end of the month. So where are we now? Did I say the 9th? We've got just under 3 weeks left, I believe, if my brain is functioning correctly. So yeah, take advantage of those lovely free gifts. And don't forget as well, the join offer. If you've got a wish list of at least £99, you should be joining my team and taking advantage of the extra free products that you can earn and free gifts as well with this promotion. So yep, if you're interested in finding out more, do get in touch for, you know, a little informal chat. There's no pressure from me to do anything. So I'm going to bid you farewell, tidy up my desk, grab a coffee and get working, because I think I could be seeing some grandchildren again this afternoon. So I want to get stuck in to get a good couple of hours of work done before that. So please take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're catching on the replay, please do type #replay, and then I know that you've been here. And if you're on YouTube, do leave a comment. I love reading your comments and I love replying to them. So, but I will be back with you all very soon. So bye for now.